Here's a question for you. What do women really mean when they say, I'm not in the mood? What does she mean when she says, I'm not in the mood? Well, she means the sex is crap and I'm not interested. Honestly, that's what women mean when they say they're not in the mood. I know that if you read a lot of mainstream sex advice, they'll give you all kinds of reasons for why women aren't in the mood. They'll talk about stress, and they'll talk about mental issues, and they'll talk about biological issues, and they'll talk about everything under the sun. But none of them ever have the balls to come out and say that when a woman says she's not in the mood, 95% of the time what she really means is, I'm just bored of the sex my man's giving me. Look, I've experienced this. I remember back when I had my first long-term relationship with a girl, I remember for the first few months us having sex every single day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. And it was fantastic. I was like a 19-year-old guy and I thought I was living the fucking dream. Because I had this cute little blonde girlfriend and I was getting to ride her every single day and it was really good. I was licking her clit, giving her an orgasm, and I was getting inside her, riding her in loads of different positions, and I was pulling out, I was blowing my load all over her face, in her mouth, and she couldn't seem to get enough of it. And then I remember after about, I don't know, let's say 7, 8, 9 months, all of a sudden things changed. The sex went from every day to 3 times a week to 2 times a week to once a week to me having to ask for it. And when I did ask for it, she'd say, oh, it's not you, Adam, I'm just not in the mood, I don't know what's wrong with me, I'm just not right at the moment, leave it with me, it's my problem, I'll deal with it. Anyway, she didn't deal with it, because looking back it was my issue, I wasn't giving her great sex, and ultimately that relationship fizzled out, and we're many years later now, and she's gone her way and I've gone my way, and it's all good. But looking back at the time, I was as confused as every other guy. Why did it go from having sex every day to barely being able to get sex once a week? And instead of her being excited about it when we did have sex, which was very infrequently, it was like I had to sort of push her into it. It was like I had to convince her to do it. Looking back, it was frigging degrading, man. It was horrible. But, like most guys, I resorted to that. I resorted to asking her, almost begging for sex. Looking back, when she said to me, I'm not in the mood, what she meant was, you are not doing it for me in the bedroom. And that is the truth of the matter. I understand that there could be reasons, particularly around the menopause, why a woman's sex drive might decline. The purpose of this video is to make most guys aware that 95%, if not 99% of the time, when a woman says she's not in the mood, it is simply to do with the quality of the sex. If you give your woman outstanding sex, her sex drive will be sky high. In fact, the truth is that when you get really good in bed, her sex drive will almost certainly be higher than yours. Because let's face it, women can have more sex. She can get wet and she can experience orgasm after orgasm after orgasm. Whereas most guys, they blow a load, they have an orgasm, and then they have to spend at least 10 or 15 minutes recovering. And some guys take 2 or 3 days to recover. I've met those guys, they've asked me for help. Some guys, it takes them a long time to be able to get hard again and have sex. The woman, she can just keep going. And that's what happens when you give a woman really good sex, her sex drive really comes to life, and she wants probably more sex than you can handle. But it's okay, because if you're not able to perform because you've already done it 5 times that day or 8 times that weekend and she's still horny, you can still give her pleasure, you can still finger her, you can still talk dirty to her. You can still stimulate her nipples and suck her lips and lick her neck and get her off in many different ways. You can still give her oral sex. That's cool. The point here, though, is that guys are kidding themselves. If you ever read the book My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday, where she talks to women, or she gives women a platform actually, she let them write in and explain their sexual fantasies and talk about their sex life in this book called My Secret Garden. It's really good, look it up on Amazon. What was interesting was that some of these women were talking about men who actually took them, so their husbands took them to see psychologists and psychiatrists to try and figure out what was wrong with her because she never wanted sex. I don't know who was more fucking deluded, the husbands or the psychologists and psychiatrists who actually took their money and sat down and listened to this shit. The case was simple. These guys were not giving their women pleasure in the bedroom. And therefore, not surprisingly, she didn't want it. And guess what? Giving your woman one clitoral orgasm in the bedroom, that's not enough. same thing will happen. It'll satisfy her for a while, and then you'll start to hear, not tonight, honey, I'm not in the mood. It's not enough. To give your woman the kind of sex that she'll want forever, to make her so sexually addicted to you she never even looks at another man, you have to give her multiple vaginal orgasms every time. And you have to give her them first with your fingers and then during intercourse. Seriously, you can take sex to a much higher level than that. You can give her anal orgasms, spanking orgasms, you can just talk the orgasm out of her using nothing but dirty talk. But as a bare minimum, if you want to enjoy a happy, sexually fulfilling relationship with your woman, you have to give her multiple vaginal orgasms during intercourse, and you have to do it every time. And the way you do that is quite simple. First of all, you stimulate her A-spot or her G-spot and make her vaginal orgasmic with your fingers, and then you make it happen during intercourse by dominantly leading her and talking dirty. There's actually no more to it than that. You make her vaginally orgasmic with your fingers by stimulating her A-spot or G-spot with the correct techniques, and then you dominantly lead her and use a lot of dirty talk during intercourse. And that's what's going to give her vaginal orgasms, multiple vaginal orgasms, every single time. And it says multiple vaginal orgasms that are going to make her addicted to you, that are going to keep her libido sky high, off the charts. They're going to make her hot, wet and horny for you all the time. So, get real. Understand the truth about this. When women say that they're not in the mood, 99% of the time, it's not because there's anything wrong with that woman. It's because she's bored of the crap sex. If you want your woman to be in the mood for you all the time, and you want to instigate the sex and have her always follow your lead, give her multiple vaginal orgasms during intercourse every single time. And I'll teach you all about how to do that in my program, Bedroom Boss. To find out more about Bedroom Boss, just click the link directly below this video.